What's going on, Reject Nation? Happy Monday. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched our Godzilla vs. Kong trailer reaction yesterday. We hit trending on YouTube, so thank you guys so much for watching that. It's always a nice feeling, especially to kick off 2021 that way. Yeah. It's really nice. Thank you. With that in mind, want to check out from our buddy Chris over at 3C Films. He put out a video, 5 theories from the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer to blow your mind. If you haven't subscribed to 3C Films, we've been covering some of his videos lately. Please do yourself a favor, check out his content. He's put out some great Godzilla vs. Kong videos like months in advance leading up to this trailer. I was gonna watch this on my own time and I was like, you know what, we should just do a reaction to it and talk about what he's got to talk about because I trust his word.
The hairy cheeks are gone! You can't tell me you dodge a blast like that without them hairy cheeks disappearing. Hey Godzilla vs. King Kong fans, my name is Chris, man. That Godzilla vs. Kong trailer was unbelievable. Yes. Exactly so what
true.
We needed in the year 2021.
That's my first laugh all day today.
That thing looked truly so happy we're getting this.
I'm just so happy.
But one thing's for sure, now that we've seen the trailer, I did get a chance to do a trailer breakdown for you guys where I gave you my immediate reaction and my general thoughts on everything going on. Really tried posting my actual trailer reaction where I first saw the trailer, but YouTube apparently wanted to be some hoes. So
I know the pain, man.
What I'm going to do here for you guys is breaking you down now the most popular theories that fans are having now that we've seen the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, have a much better idea to what is actually happening in the monster universe, and also like, why the hell are they making Godzilla out to be the bad guy? Look, I'm Team Hairy Cheeks all the way. Go Kong, but even I gotta admit, that is some weird marketing choice. But we all kind of know what's going on now. So be sure you guys are also leaving your thoughts down below, your theories, your opinions, which one you agree with on my list, which one did you disagree with, open to any discussion, but hit that like button, and also subscribe. So close to hitting 250K would mean a lot to me.
Did.
Right, so let's dive into the first theory we have going on.
Celebration for Chris.
Congratulations. We gotta get you to 1 million, buddy. Just wanted to point that out really quick. Subscribe to him.
And that is MechaGodzilla. It is without a question we will be seeing the RoboCop Godzilla show up in this film. Not only because it was literally like the first giant we see coming out of the trailer. You really thought we wouldn't notice, but we noticed. And then the not so subtle but obvious confirmation of the blueprints in the back.
That's the blueprint everyone was talking about.
Systems loaded, being created by Epics. All that was left is, how did they come to the creation of MechaGodzilla? The most popular theory going on right now with this is that it comes from 2 things that has already been set up in the monster universe. First, back in the 2014 Godzilla movie, we saw bones of an older Godzilla that was destroyed, and then we had no idea what happened to those bones. Flash forward to the ending of King of Monsters, where we had another company separate from Monarch getting the Ghidorah head and using it for whatever
It's gonna be such a cool
purpose.
movie.
Of course, people really hoped that it would be the Mecha-Ghidorah. Combining these two, it seems like the way MechaGodzilla is going to come to life is using the skeleton bones from those Godzilla remains in the 2014 movie, pairing it up with the brain that was left over from King of Monsters. Using the actual brain as a form of AI to power the suit and get it going would also be a perfect explanation for why it goes rogue, for why it can't be controlled, and why Godzilla and King Kong would have to step in to take care of this thing. Really, with everything being set up, it would be a waste not to use all that stuff that they've been doing. If they really just go ahead and say that they've made the MechaGodzilla purely from robotic parts and AI engineering, then what the hell is the point of all those Easter eggs you were throwing at us? Before we get to another very popular MechaGodzilla theory involving a fake Godzilla, let's talk about the battle axe origin. Probably the most...
Hold on, let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down a little bit. All right, so this image, everyone in the comments was like, yeah, you see blueprints of MechaGodzilla. And I honestly didn't spot this one. It's like, it was pointed out to us in the middle of our discussion after doing the reaction by my fiance. Did you catch MechaGodzilla? I don't know if you guys saw that moment, but yeah, like, oh, you do see him clearly in the shot. What I love that's being pointed out in Chris's video from like the bones teased in the first Godzilla, and then this is the main thing I heard about King Ghidorah's head, that they would be using this to essentially make MechaGodzilla. And I think that's really neat if that was part of their original plan when they started this film franchise. Because I don't know for sure like what was originally planned, what they've kind of been improvising, because it sort of felt like they had Godzilla and then they started creating the monster versus first with Kong Skull Island, then changing up Godzilla King of the Monsters. But the fact that this is going all the way back to if this theory is to stand true, going back to the original Godzilla from 2014. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. And I love that concept of it.
Well, yeah, and it actually makes the idea that much more interesting to me. The whole idea that it would be not just a robot, but a sort of bio-engineered sort of cyborg thing that has a brain in it that then can go rogue on its own. Like, that made it actually sound interesting rather than kind of silly, because some of the theories, about like, oh, it's just Godzilla in a fake suit. It's just MechaGodzilla.
That is one of the theories.
Maybe I'll hear it explained in this video even in a way that makes me very convinced of it, but that one seems a bit sillier to me than something like this, because I feel like if it was just a robot, then why isn't this just Pacific Rim?
Before we get to another very popular MechaGodzilla theory involving a fake Godzilla, let's talk about the battle axe origin. Probably the most money shot of the trailer was Kong with his battle axe, using it as a way to deter Godzilla's atomic breath and use it at his advantage. Now, fans are really starting to theorize to where this axe is actually coming from, and even I had my own theory that I'm not believing anymore, where I thought the humans have built this axe. Monarch went ahead and supplied it to Kong. After further analysis of looking at it,
he's got a Q at Monarch.
It seems like instead the axe is going to be a hand-me-down from King Kong's ancestors. Now watching back the trailer and seeing the journey that Monarch takes King Kong in and trying to give him everything possible so that he stands a chance when fighting Godzilla, we are greeted to an area that seems like Skull Island, where King Kong places his hand and most likely opens a door to a new world that we will touch upon in a sec, leading him to find a battle axe that was crafted by his ancestors. Even in previous MonsterVerse movies, they have already given us hints that Godzilla and King Kong have fought before. At least their ancestors have been at war. This is not something new. They just can't seem to get along. And more than not, Kong's ancestors were most likely having the most difficult time fighting a Godzilla with that atomic breath.
Dude,
that they had to come
that
up
makes
with a way
so much
to
more
fight
sense
that back.
then.
The real mystery will be how Monarch discovers this place, because from the shots of the trailer, it looks like they're the ones leading Kong to this area. You can see the floating ships in the background. That looks like they might be in reference to another kaiju, Gamera, that is also a very popular type, but thanks to some copyright issues, it doesn't seem like he'll be making an appearance in this movie. Still worth pointing out that little Easter egg there, but Monarch discovering this land and taking Kong to it will really be a sight to behold. But speaking of this area, we have to get to the next theory, and
okay, been talking about the axe, the most popular theory that was circulating before even the official trailer came out, with a TV spot was released. They would get in the fight on the naval battle spot. Kong might lose that fight of that first one, but in the middle of that, he would grab one of the spinal plates and then craft it to make the axe. Essentially, that was like one of the main theories. And then when the trailer came out, you do see that it looks like he's using it on Skull Island. This image that you pulled up here of Kong and Godzilla fighting with each other, maybe it was originally Kong and Godzilla, maybe it was their ancestors or something like that. This concept sounds like it's probably going to be the case.
Oh yeah.
That the axe is imbued within the lore and the history of the battles they've had before. That they're
passed down.
That their fighting isn't like kind of a traditional battle of sorts.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that's just always happened and will always continue to happen.
Yeah, and then to have the axe imbued in the history of it sounds actually cooler and
way cooler,
and makes more sense to have it be included in the movie. I like the idea of like grabbing the spinal plate and then Iron Manning welding it together, whatever the hell Kong would do to make it happen.
The origin of his tool-making ability.
I think that's cool. There's a part of that's cool, but imbuing it in the DNA of the characters actually just makes it that much more neat when you look back on the teases that they've done leading up to this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I love the idea of that, and it's funny because like all these, at least up till this point, all these theories are making this sound even better than I could have imagined. Like I'm like, please let these things be true, because yeah, then it makes it like an actual, even though it might not be a big focal point, like a character thing for a Kong. I love that.
Undoubtedly.
Godzilla vs. Kong will finally be confirming and introducing the Hollow Earth theory. Now, the Hollow Earth theory was something that was actually introduced in Kong Skull Island. It's mentioned by John Goodman's character, Bill Randa, who explains the theory as underneath Earth's crust crust, there are pocket spaces where complete ecosystems are inhabited by a bunch of kaiju that have yet to step foot on Earth. And this is also where we get a bunch of these titans coming out of nowhere in all these MonsterVerse movies. If we look at shots of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, Kong is definitely stepping into some really out-of-world locations. One place in particular where he's fighting, you can even see it looks like there are some upside-down mountains above Kong in the sky. Essentially, this being right here a part of Hollow Earth where Kong goes into in order to find his battle axe that his ancestors have left behind.
Dude,
this, I think, will actually be a very key component to the ending of Godzilla vs. Kong and how they'll choose to expand the monster universe if given more sequels after Godzilla vs. Kong.
Also want to go ahead and point out, because I see a lot of people saying that this is Kong on top of Godzilla, and as much as I want to see that, because I'm Team Hairy Cheeks, this is Kong on top of a Godzilla painting that is glowing blue, not actually Godzilla himself.
Before getting to the theory of how the Hollow Earth sets up the ending for Godzilla vs. Kong and the future of the MonsterVerse, we have to talk about one of the #1 theories everyone is going around mentioning, and that's that King Kong is not fighting Godzilla in this movie.
Here we go. Let's
Fans are really starting to heavily theorize now that the Godzilla that appears in the trailer is in fact not Godzilla at all, instead is an imposter and is also MechaGodzilla.
I want to curious to see what you have to say.
A lot of details point to this being the case.
Convince me,
for one,
Chris.
this is something that they've already done in the previous Godzilla movies. One of the very first movies that had MechaGodzilla versus Godzilla, it was where MechaGodzilla was wearing this sort of Godzilla skin suit before he finally went ahead, fleshed it off, and then fought Godzilla in his full Robo Prime. It seems that they could be taking inspiration for that and bringing it over to Godzilla vs. Kong and giving us a good reason for why King Kong and Godzilla, or at least a version of him, would fight. We all knew something was off in the trailer when they were trying to pin Godzilla to be a villain, when in the previous movies he's done nothing but save humanity, fight for them, try to protect as many people as he could, that this sudden change in character just did not make a whole bunch of sense. The biggest debate with this, though, is this fake Godzilla wearing a skin suit, Terminator style, where as the battle continues and Kong is fighting this fake Godzilla, will he slowly be tearing away to actual fake skin, revealing more robo parts?
That would be neat to see.
That would look absolutely
that would look
fantastic.
awesome.
And
That
even
would
just
look
thinking
awesome.
about that shot where King Kong is going to take that axe to his face. Once that blow is done, if Godzilla stands up and is then looking at a half Godzilla, half robot face, oh, this movie can have all my money in the world. If not that, they could go with a more advanced way of doing things that could make sense with Godzilla being basically all made out of chrome, and that is that he projects a sort of hologram around him that makes him look like Godzilla. Even in some of the shots of the trailer where we first see what we think is fake Godzilla going up to fight King Kong, there is some orange liquid coming out of his mouth and his hand slamming onto this naval base. It turns a little blue and electric, which would be a weird effect for when Godzilla is smashing some ships. They would blow up, not really turn blue and have this electricity effect. That could be the hologram acting up. Even the shot of the tail in use underwater that does not really seem like a Godzilla tail and looks a lot more mechanical. This would be a really awesome twist, but at the same time would kind of be a cop-out, because for the majority of the movie, we're not really getting Godzilla vs. Kong. We're getting MechaGodzilla versus Kong. Some fans are even worried that Godzilla might not even be in the movie at all, and he might be some sort of Luke Skywalker, whereas I heavily believe that's wrong, and that Godzilla would most likely show up towards the end of the battle, either when Kong is at his wit's end, about to lose, unless this movie's really gonna pull off the misunderstanding that whenever Kong looks at real Godzilla, he thinks it's the evil Godzilla and fights him there, and
misunderstanding battle, like Batman v Superman.
But without the ability to speak, it's perfect.
That does leave me to how Godzilla vs. Kong will most likely end, and
okay, before we get to that, buddy, there are some sound theories here. He's wearing the skin suit, okay? Like the electricity moments, the thing with the tail, sure. But the thing, though, that's popping into my mind is the shot that they have when MechaGodzilla is going into the city. Now, I believe MechaGodzilla is in this movie, undoubtedly. But in that shot with the city, you do see that it's MechaGodzilla. it's not wearing a skin suit. So I feel like the audience would know. Like, I love the idea of having this battle between Kong and Godzilla, and then the skin starts coming off and you start seeing the mechanical underneath it. Like, that sounds really cool visually. That sounds awesome. Makes you think of, yeah, Terminator, or I kind of think of like in Rebels when Ahsoka and Vader fought each other, shit like that. But that shot with the crowd does put kind of a dent in it because he's not wearing the skin suit. Now, is that shot supposed to be like later on at post fights, or is there like a naval battle fight, this nighttime fight that goes all the way into the day? You know, I mean, it could be. It just could be a one super long ass battle. So I'm not opposed to MechaGodzilla being in here, and maybe the misunderstanding thing will work better because I don't like the part that feels like a cop out to me. We want to see real Godzilla versus real King Kong.
Absolutely.
I don't want to have it be like it's really MechaGodzilla. I feel like that would actually
the asterisk version.
I feel like it would undermine it. I don't mind like they eventually work together to fight MechaGodzilla, or they think Godzilla's really doing stuff and he has a skin suit, but there has to be a real fight between them. It can't just be MechaGodzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like it would be really fun to see, although I feel like there's something that's just like a crossover into cheese for me about that. If you've got like, oh, the skin's ripping off, like I feel like it would be cool, but I feel like it would be another level of cheese for this universe. But then again,
that cheese works for
it
this.
does work here. You know, it all depends on.
It's a giant lizard versus a giant ape.
Well, yeah, but you know, the way they totally sell these movies is like, oh, it's gonna be like the most intense thing ever. So yeah, I mean, but I do side there as well. Is like, okay, if we're gonna have an imposter Godzilla, then it better lead to some kind of misunderstanding, conflict between real Godzilla and real Kong, so that we can at least, yeah, get the actual build fight and not just, you know, a quick team up.
But if there's something imbued in their history between Kong and Godzilla, like they have like a vendetta towards each other or something like that, I don't know. I don't think you need the mislead or the misunderstanding element for them to fight.
No.
We'll see. I just want to see them fight. We just want to see them really fight.
Yes,
All right.
yeah,
That's all
the
we want.
point. That's
That's all we want.
But that does leave me to how Godzilla vs. Kong will most likely end, and it will be the cop-out that everyone is thinking. The whole one will fall tagline that they're promising us, that one of these kaijus will fall to the ground and be done with, then that is MechaGodzilla. The fake Godzilla will be the one to fall, but that still leaves us with King Kong and Godzilla out there, and their ancestors are enemies, so much so that Kong literally has an axe meant to fight people of his kind. This is where the Hollow Earth theory comes back in and will give us the explanation for how these kaijus will live in peace on one world, and that's where Kong will retreat back to Hollow Earth. That'll be his new Skull Island, where he'll rule amongst those animals. Heck, would not even be surprised if this is the ending shot of King Kong, just ruling that territory and making his place known, while Godzilla will remain above the earth, protecting the citizens and the cities. And if there's ever an Avengers
cool.
level threat out there where an even bigger kaiju, like a MechaGhidorah, then that is where the two will
Unite
come
the
up,
League.
team up, and fight again for the earth. But those are just some theories that fans are theorizing and going on about with this Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. In the end, I am just super excited for this film. I just want to see these titans clash. I'm hoping that I can get a chance to see this in theaters. Either way, I am not missing this movie when it comes out. I want to hear from you guys. Which theories do you believe in? Which do you think are complete crap?
All of them.
Anything and everything. Or if you have your own theories you want to add on, be sure to leave that down below as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. Purchase a shirt in the description if you want to support the channel. And subscribe and help me hit 250K. Would mean a lot. Thanks so much for watching, guys. But as always, my name's Chris. Take care.
Congratulations on your success, buddy.
Chris killing the game.
I mean, that sounds like a really sound theory for how it would end.
Absolutely.
Of the parts of where they would be separate and go. I mean, I don't think either one of them are going to die. I mean, I think one will fall.
Literally fall down.
Yeah,
And the other one's gonna feel really bad about it and help him up and be like, you know what, we shouldn't be doing this.
I mean, they're promising that one will lose, so, I mean, it could refer to MechaGodzilla. I'm not so sure about, like, the tagline's a tagline, all right? That's not really the plot. The theory of where they'll go their separate ways for the Hollow theory and where Godzilla goes, I actually think that sounds really cool. It leaves the door open for them to have a team-up movie, a Godzilla and Kong versus someone, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's actually, funny enough, getting me excited excited for like the lore potential of these movies, which this franchise hasn't actually done as much as I've enjoyed certain aspects of it. Like the monster fights are always amazing, but these theories actually have me excited about, you know, that side of the development. And yeah, I love that idea that, you know, Kong might go back to the Hollow Earth and rule there. Either that, or maybe that shot is like some kind of earlier prologue showing his ancestors in his prime or something like that. But either way, I love that whole aspect of this.
Yeah, man. I think these are all pretty awesome. I can't wait for this movie.
Fingers crossed, man. You should be writing for Hollywood.
This sounds so cool. This sounds so cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Well, subscribe to 3C Films. You can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Hit that like button. We'll catch you guys soon.